my Facebook gorgeous peeps, my design divas, my design divos, in case we have some gentlemen with us today. Hi there, my Insta gorgeousnesses. So good to see you as well. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate because I advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere. I'm going to try not to speak with my hands this whole time. I advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere to help you get rid of the, I'm doing it already. Get rid of the disappointing design result, get rid of the ugly room, the room that's driving you bananas. And the reason it's driving you bananas, that you're in overwhelm or feeling stuck, is because you are not using strategy. And what I teach in my amazing online courses is all about design strategy, what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and why in a total path. And that's why my design divas and their hubs too, design divos too, are getting amazing results together. You should see the pictures that we are sent. You should see the DMs we get and the emails. It's amazing. So, every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we're here. I am doing it with talking with my hands again. It's a crazy thing. Anyway, we're here every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I teach a lesson on something important in design and something important to you based upon the questions I get. And then from there, I take your questions on that topic. And sometimes I get questions that are off topic. And what I always say is that I will take your question if it's on topic and I don't need to see a picture. And I'll also take your question if it's off topic only if we don't have any questions on the topic, which doesn't happen a lot. And then as long as I don't need to see a picture, because I don't want to ever give you any design guidance or coaching that isn't excellent. And if I need to see a picture to be able to answer you well, that's not going to work. And describing your room to me or giving me a pantomime description of your room doesn't work either. So try to keep your question to a point or general enough that I don't need to see a picture to be able to answer you well. All right, so good to see you guys here. So what are we talking about today? The difference between an integrated media room and a home theater. And this is a big topic of discussion for a lot of people right now. You're spending more time in your home, and a lot of guys dream about having that home theater experience. A lot of girls do too. A lot of women do too. And then there's something called an integrated media room. What the heck is that? Well, so a home theater, as you have seen pictures of, I'm sure, it looks and feels like an in-home movie theater. There are stadium seats on platforms, individual movie seats. They recline. You might have a huge screen on one end of the home theater, and there could be curtains on either side, upholstered walls, beautiful sconces. You can do a pierced ceiling. It looks like there's stars up there, right? Little snack bar, popcorn machine. It really is a dedicated movie watching or sporting event space. And one day there will be sporting events again. So the other end of the spectrum, to not go all in there on a home theater, is something called an integrated media room. And this is a room where tech issues on Instagram, please restart. Oh, well. Okay. So when you're talking about, hang on with me here, Facebook. All right. So Insta, am I here with you? I hope I am. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the Interior Design Advocate. Welcome, welcome to you. We wipe out the ugly room. Hang on with me, Facebook. We are thrilled to have you here. We're talking about the integrated media room versus the home theater. And Facebook, do you mind if I repeat everything for Insta real quick? Because Insta missed part of this. Okay, home theater is like a mini in-home theater, literally. Stadium seats, giant movie screen for movies or TV or sporting events, curtains, pierced ceiling, popcorn machine at the back, maybe some movie posters, some cool sconce lighting. These are tricked out spaces, and the whole purpose is for you to feel like you have a specialty room in your home. And as you can imagine, with that comes some dollars. But we'll talk about the pros and cons of these two different kinds of spaces. And just as I learned that we were having trouble on Instagram, I was just about to say, well, what is an integrated media room versus a home theater? Integrated media rooms are rooms that can function also as something else, like a family room or like a living room. They have excellent media in them. That's where the really important TV is in the home. That's where, you've got great surround sound, great seating, but it also functions as something else. It can be a living room or a family room when not in use. So for TV viewing or event viewing. So let's talk a little bit about costs, pros and cons. With the home theater, you want to be careful that you're not putting that into your home. If you think you're going to be moving in the next 7 to 10 years, I would be careful about putting a home theater into your home. They're not inexpensive. And if you do not know that the comps in your area, the comparable real estate in your area, this is an expected thing in your home, of homes of your value and size, I'd be hesitant about doing it unless, again, you're staying for the long term. And sometimes people say to me, Donna, I'm going to be carried feet first out of this residence. I'm not going anywhere. Well, then you've got the bucks for a home theater and you really want that movie theater in-home experience, then do it. So speaking of the expense, we're talking about stadium seats, and that is when you have like these movie theater quality seats. You push a button, they recline, you can go all the way back. If they're motorized, it's even, pricier. They feel like a movie theater seat. They're deep sits, great pitch on them as well, meaning how you're pitched in that furniture. They're not inexpensive. You sneeze and they're about $1,200, $1,000 to $1,200. And then as soon as you want something in a nice leather or maybe a tuft, and you want it to motorize really nicely at the push of a button, they can go to that $2,500, $3,500 per seat. And if you want 6 seats in your movie theater or 8 seats, do the math. That gets really expensive just on your seating. And we've got a builder involved. Certainly an AV group is involved, and the builder is probably creating a little bit of a platform step up, 1 or 2 steps, depending upon how deep you are taking up that seating. With home theaters, as a little side note, the best shape for the room is a shoebox, and you want the screen, if this is the shape of a shoebox, you want that screen at the short end of that shoebox, right? So your seating is running back this way. So costs are the big thing with home theaters, because it's all the stuff around the media, and the media can get expensive too real quickly, but we'll talk about that in a bit in a sec. But in home theaters, you can have upholstered walls, cha-ching. You could have beautiful millwork that's just on the base of the wall below chair rail, or some beautiful pilasters that go up like columns, up to the ceiling, cha-ching. Pierced ceilings, a pierced ceiling can be anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000, rough numbers, depending upon the size of your space. You've got the framed movie art. You've got the sconces going every once in a while through this space. You've got the curtains. You've got the popcorn machine. You've got some built-in cabinetry, maybe even a working sink if you really think you're going to do some, intense like microwaved snacks and melted cheese things. I don't know what. So costs before you even get to your media are significant in a home theater. And then you add in your media, and that's where everybody wants to go crazy, especially, if you're a guy. So the media costs can be huge. So here's the thing. Do the media decision first if you're doing a home theater, and then back in everything else after that. Make sure you get the media that you want. Give up the pierced ceiling. Maybe you're not going to do upholstered walls. Maybe you don't have to soundproof. There can be other things that you can do. Maybe you just want to do curtains on either side, big thick drapery panels and a velvet to do a little sound absorption as well. So we worked on a beautiful home theater 2 years ago, and by the time they got to our area design, there wasn't a lot of money left over to beautify the space, right? Or to trick out the space, because the media sucked up so much with surround sound and the type of screen that the client wanted and so forth, the homeowner wanted. So if that's the case, the workaround is do a really cool, wall-to-wall carpet in there. So maybe it's got a cool pattern. You can do some, you can do some bordering, and maybe a darker border inset in that wall-to-wall. That is not a budget buster, and it's a good, big bang for the buck move. You can do cool things with the way you're painting walls and so forth. You may have to downgrade for cost purposes on the home theater seats. So just know that with home theaters, it is a higher cost endeavor, and also it's a single-use space. There is no snuggling. There's no canoodling. There's no making out on the sofa. There's no, watching and reclining, with your arm, here, and your pillow on your head, and you're watching the movie. You are in a theater seat. So you want to have some other families over or another couple over and you want to share a charcuterie board, there's no coffee table to put that on because everybody's, sitting in their seat with their drink and their popcorn, right? So home theaters are more single-use spaces. So what is an integrated media room? An integrated media room is, like we were saying, it's a space that functions as something else. It is a family room or living room and this can be sub-level. It doesn't have to be on the main floor of a home, but it functions as a lounge also, right? So big, deep sofas, comfortable seating. You can absolutely trick out your media as much as you want, as much as your budget allows. You need to make sure that you're providing ample viewing distance against your screen size. You need to make sure that your screen is not hung too high. If you are in a family room or living room and you're putting that screen above a fireplace, you may need to drop the mantle lower on that fireplace so that when people are sitting down, they're not having to look up, because that'll hurt your neck after a while, right? So with an integrated media room, it's more of a double duty space. It's not just about event watching. Now, a warning on these integrated media rooms: you have to accept that not everybody's going to have an optimal seat. In a home theater, everybody's lined up, row, 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 platform seating, right? Everybody's got a perfect view of the screen. With a media room, an integrated media room, where you have created an L-shaped seating zone or a U-shaped seating zone where people are talking to each other, it's not just about TV viewing or event viewing, you have to accept that some of those seats are not going to be optimal in terms of best view of the screen. And you have to accept that there will be the best seats in that media room where people are looking directly ahead to look right at that screen. And then there are going to be other people who are placed more in profile. So to look at the screen, they're doing this, right? They're turning their head toward that screen as opposed to having a bird's eye, not bird's eye, but a straight on view of it. Some of the seating in a family room or a living room or even a lounge might be more about, hey, this is conversation time, So that's why you want to have that, that L completed or that U-shaped seating layout, which is why not everybody is looking straight on. So there are trade-offs, but the trade-up is you can rest in your honey's arms while you're watching, I don't know, whatever that sporting event or that pay-per-view event that you've, rented together, or like a movie as well. Somebody can be reclining on a pillow while somebody else is sitting up eating some ramen noodles or whatever, right? So, and if you're entertaining, everybody's gathered around, the foods are, beautifully spread out on a shared coffee table, and it's just a little bit of this, a little bit of that as a space. But remember, you can still have excellent audio-visual quality in there, and you can have excellent sound as well. If you're doing this in a room that is above ground, you may want to splurge on motorized window coverings. That can add about $1,000 to a window treatment. I'll be honest with you, those motors are heavy and they've got to lift all this fabric. But the beauty, if you really want that really well tricked out audio-visual experience in an integrated media room, being able to completely room darken with a motorized shade, the best. And if there's a guy involved, pushing a button and making things happen always makes the guys happy. Am I right? I have one guy watching, I think. That would be Steve Hoffman. Give that man a remote with a button. Oh, is he happy? I know I'm going to hear about this after this live. So anyway, in terms of viewing distance, it has changed. There was a time you wanted to multiply by at least 3 to get your optimal viewing distance, but TV technology has changed so much that now the AV guys I talk to will say anywhere from 1.5 times your screen size to 2.5 times your screen size. But please talk to an AV specialist who can talk to you about the type of TV flat screen you're using and what your minimum viewing distance is and your maximum viewing distance is, so that you're not forcing people too close to the screen, or that they're far away and they're not getting, what they want. The latest and greatest people are talking about is 4G technology. I am not an AV person. I am a design specialist, and I partner with other specialists, an audiovisual guy and then a builder when I'm doing a home theater. Or if I'm just doing, not just, but if I'm doing an integrated media room, I've got a great audiovisual guy or gal that I'm dealing with as I design as well. And I look to that expert and say, okay, expert, given the fact that this wonderful couple wants this type of TV and blah, 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 tell me what are my optimal, viewing distances, and want to make sure that we, don't have that mantle too high again if we're in an integrated media room. Okay, so hopefully that will get you started. And I started to say in terms of home resale, don't over improve on something like a home theater if you don't think comps in your area will sustain that, unless you're staying for the long haul. But if you're moving in about 7 years or even 7 to 10 years, you may want to opt for an integrated media room instead. And I will share one last thing. One of the private design clients we're working with right now, it's a big design build, and we seem to get those a lot. And there is a home theater, but this particular young family, they don't want stadium seating. They're snuggle muffins, and they want, places to put their feet up, but they want big, giant, oversized sofas, and they do want to have rows of seating. Well, there'll be a platform so that a giant custom sectional will be on the back wall, and then in front will either be swivel chairs or big, gorgeous beanbags. So there are different things you can do so that it'll feel more like a lounge theater, but totally, no windows in this space. It is a below grade space, so no windows to worry about. There'll be the built-in cabinetry, the popcorn maker, and it'll be outfitted aesthetically as if it's kind of a cool, funky movie theater lounge. Okay, so that's sort of like a hybrid between an integrated media room and a home theater. So hopefully that helps you. If you have questions, I'm happy to take them. If you have questions about doing something as an integrated media room, happy to take those questions. And while you're putting that in, I'll let you know what we're doing for the next couple of weeks. So, and I'll also let you know too that I've posted a link to an amazing online course we have called Decorating Genius System. Couples are doing it together. They love this course, and also Design Divas, gorgeous women just like you, are doing it solo, and everybody's delighted with the results they're getting too, and their families too. So posted a link, so you can find that in our description if you're on Insta, but Facebook, we posted a link for you if you want to get more information on that. And if you like what you see there, head to the blog to find a current 20% off coupon for that as well. And with the upcoming holiday week and weekend coming, might be a perfect time for you to dive into a course like that, because you have unlimited access. You can watch the videos as many times as you want or as long as you want. And there's a great private Facebook group that comes with it as well. So that's one thing I wanted to tell you. Next, in 2 weeks, we are doing a fun Facebook Live. They're all fun, but we're doing a fun one, and it is called, oh, this is a good one. 5 tips to pick out the perfect artwork for your room. 5 tips to pick out the perfect artwork for your room. That is happening in 2 weeks on July 14th. 2 weeks? What's happening next week? I'm taking a nap. That's what's happening next week. We're taking a little time off. The design industry, all the showrooms and workrooms tend to close right around July 4th. So we, as a company, have always kind of closed down for the week, and I'm going to be doing a staycation, just relaxifying. I'll tell you what, this has been an intense 6 months, and add COVID to it as well as a business owner. Hamana. I am so ready for a little break. I can't even tell you. So there will be no Facebook Live next week. I thought about doing one, and I thought I just need to kind of tune out and unplug, not a tune out, unplug for a little bit. So I hope you'll forgive me. But July 14, we're back. Not only with this amazing Facebook Live, how to pick out the perfect artwork for your space, but we've got another fun offering that we're going to bring to you. Cool, something to help you out on that topic. All right, let me see who's here. I'm seeing waves and hellos and all this good stuff. So getting hellos and good afternoon from Nancy. Hi there, Nancy. And Sherry is saying good afternoon from Los Angeles. Great to have California joining. Cheryl is here. Hi, Cheryl. Jane is here from Orlando. Hiya, Jane. Ellen is here from Lockport, New York. Where is Lockport, New York? I'm a New Yorker by birth, and I've never heard of Lockport. That doesn't mean a lot. I can tell you that when I went to grad school, I received a couple of talent scholarships to graduate school. I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but I was a kid, right? I was a college kid, and I said to and I had a full talent scholarship to the University of Pittsburgh, and I said to my dad, Pittsburgh? What am I you going to do in Ohio? And he said, well, you're not doing anything in Ohio because Pittsburgh is not in Ohio. So, New York kid that I was, I didn't really think further beyond the border. I have since grown up and matured, and I love this whole country, every single state in it. So, anyway, so good afternoon from Suzanne and from Gloria. Hi, girls. More hellos from LA. All right, Los Angeles into house. Hello, LA. Love it. Northern California, Rose is here. Hi, Northern California, Rose. Martine is here, and so Shelly, and hi, girls. Good to see you. Okay, I'm going to go past all the hellos. Okay, Nancy Lem is saying, this is such a good question. Donna, please give me a good reason not to have a large flat screen TV outside. Hubby wants one, I don't. All right, I have two opinions on this. First of all, happy hubby, happy life, or whatever that expression is. I had there's a couple of great audiovisual specialists that we work with in our company, and one of them, John and I, were talking about outdoor flat screens, and he said they have come such a long way. There's a lot that can be done outdoors. I believe you should call a specialist in for that. They can actually do surround sound outdoors. It's amazing what can happen. You have to make sure that you are purchasing a flat screen that is appropriate for outdoor use, wet location, right? So even up here in the Northeast, where we are clearly not a 1 or 2 season kind of location, we do outdoor flat screens. We do, but it has to be the right flat screen. Even in an uncovered space, people are doing them. You got to have the right equipment though, and the right wiring. That said, we worked with a great family a couple of years ago, and he ran a big business, young guy, young family, and he was just working constantly, and he really wanted an outdoor TV. And I talked him out of it, and I said, David, why don't we wire for it as if you're going to do it? But when you are finally home with your family, not working, do you really want to hear the news screaming in the background, or Sesame Street, because his kids were young, screaming in the background? Or would you rather be focused on your family and taking in some greenery from the garden? And just given who he was as a person, I thought that would be better for him as for his spirit. So he humored me, and we wired for it, but we didn't put the TV in. I wonder if I was remiss in doing that. He seemed to have liked the idea. I don't know if I would have said the exact same thing to him today, but I felt moved to say it. So I get what you're saying, Nancy, but I think there are good-looking ways to do it. And if your hubby's really going to love it and you think you're going to use it a lot, why not? Do make sure that you purchase a cover for it if you are in I think any location should have one for off-season, but certainly up here on the East Coast, the good guys all talk about doing, and they're not terribly expensive to have those covers put out there for the off-season. So that's what I say for you there. So Nancy, can't talk you out of it, but you can perhaps use some of that strategy that I used with the wonderful David B that I talked to about that. Okay, Amy is saying hello from Scranton, PA. Hello, Amy. And Jane is saying, we love our large screen outside. We use it often and while swimming. Absolutely. And I hear that a lot. So great. Sally is saying, hello, my Sally. And Nancy is actually saying, Jane, you're not helping me on the flat screen thing. Oh, well, and Jane apologized. All righty. So Brenda says, where do you recommend putting the TV in the family room, above the fireplace or not? Well, I'll tell you what, there is something on our website that I don't really like on our design website, Interiors by Donna Hoffman. We had a client, really fun couple. They were arguing about, do we put a piece of artwork above the fireplace in the great room, or do we do a TV? She really wanted artwork. He really wanted TV. Heels are dug in. I'm thinking, okay, I got to settle this. So we did both. We did a piece of art over the fireplace, and then off to the side, there's a flat screen. Not the primary screen in the home by any stretch. Do I like the way that looks? I really don't. It's not my preference, but you got to make people happy. So that's one way to split the difference if you're a design purist and you think, nope, I want art above my fireplace. I don't mind a flat screen above a fireplace. I've come full circle on this. When I first started designing 3 million years ago. I did not like the look of a TV above the fireplace. I was a purist. I wanted that architectural focal point. And if we did do something above a fireplace, I made sure there was cabinetry to hide it and blah, blah, blah. And then finally, I realized, you know, we're in the 21st century. Technology is a part of our lives. And put a TV above the fireplace if that's what you want. In fact, in my own home, I finally did it too. Here's the thing about TV above the fireplace. You have to make sure that it is not that your mantle is not so high. So, you know, right now as I'm sitting down, I'm going to bend my tape measure. My eye level right now is at 48 inches, right? If I wanted to poke myself in the eye, I'm about like really 47 inches, right? So when you're looking at a mantle that's far away from you, you know, you've got some perspective, but you can't see where the top of my thingy is going on Facebook. But I like to see my mantles at about 51 inches where I'm bending. The top of the mantle's at 51, 52, 53, maybe 54, depending upon how big and deep the room is. Because remember, as you get further away, that's good. The closer you are to it, the more you're going to have to do this. It'll look goofy if you go too much below that 51, 52 area. But you're also going to have to make sure you're far enough off the fireplace heat so that it won't hurt your flat screen. So that's why you want to drop the mantle, have a little bit of a breadth above it, and then you have your flat screen. So I don't mind a flat screen above a fireplace. Some people do. You can do a flat screen on a wall and let the fireplace be the fireplace. You're now inviting a split focal point. I don't think that's a terrible thing to do in a room. But what I would say to you first is consider the function of the room and get the primary function in the room and get that shored up and aligned. And then from there, you have to make it beautiful. That's your job as a design diva. Then you make it beautiful. Function first. I hope I answered you well. If you have a follow-up on that, Brenda, please ask me. And Insta, if you have a question, zip it in there and Katie can, you know, write it out to me. Trisha is saying, do you have any suggestions to dress up, change the frame of a large TV? Instead of looking at the black frame, help it to blend into the background better. You know, Trisha, the only time I really try to do things around the frame of a TV, a flat screen, if you are entering a room and seeing the side of it, so you're seeing the guts and you're seeing the arm and the wires, I will have a carpenter frame it out a little bit so that there's something that hides the sides. But beyond that, I just let the screen be the screen. There are things you can do. We've had clients do, you know, the mirror front thing. It looks like a mirror, and then you turn on the TV, and then it's not a mirror anymore. And that technology has come a long way. Doesn't take your screen res down now the way it once did. There are things you can do, but again, I'm kind of the mind of, you know, there's this awful play we had to read in, I think it was high school. Did you have to read The Cockroach? Mm-mm. Oh, gosh, I think it was called The Roach or The Cockroach. And there was a big dead cockroach in the living room, and this couple just kept stepping over this cockroach and ignoring that it was there. Of course, the cockroach represented the turmoil in their marriage. I don't know what. I'm reading it as a high school thinking, what the hell is with the cockroach? But the point is, the lesson I learned was these characters were supposed to say, hey, there's a big dead cockroach here. Why are we stepping around it? Let's acknowledge it. It's there. That's kind of how I feel about technology. It's not beautiful to many people. It's just there. And I wouldn't call more attention to it by doing frames around it and stuff. If you really hate it, you can build cabinetry around it. But then if technology changes and you need to change your screen size, see ya. You know, that can get kind of difficult too. So my answer to you would be, Trisha, to probably do less than more around it. Hopefully, and if I could see a picture of what you were talking about, I might have a more intelligent answer or a more detailed answer. All my answers hopefully are intelligent. Katie's telling me final 2 questions. All right, so here's an instant question from Creole Home. What about those TVs that show art when they're not in use? Yep, seen those too. I think those work if you like the artwork. See, I don't think you have to spend a lot on artwork for it to look good, but it has to look good. And I think some of the artwork in some of those TVs can look a little strange. If you're going to do that, please don't do like, you know, a copy of a Renoir painting or a Manet paint. Like, do something that is non-discernible, like great abstract or landscape or whatever your thing is, but don't do a replica of a really famous piece of artwork, because that just screams fake, 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 fake. Not that you have to be a real art collector, but I just don't think, I think that just can start to look cheesy. So Creole Home, I say go for it. Just find a great looking screensaver or screen cover that is that artwork thing. All right, Marvel is saying, what is the best setup for an integrated media room following the kitchen on an open concept with the wall between the kitchen and family room and formal living room, dining room? Marvel, I want to see a picture to be able to answer you well. I don't know where the windows are, what the traffic patterns are. So I think, though, you are one of my students. I think you're in one of my Facebook groups. So girl, post pictures. Girlfriend, we want to see what you're working on. So you can post pictures and drawings and things, and we can all weigh in on your best layout. That's the beauty of the Decorating Genius private Facebook group, my Design CPR private Facebook group, my Window Boss private Facebook group. You have a community of design lovers in there looking at things, my team as well. So hopefully that helps you, Marvel. Cheryl is saying, in an open concept plan, does it work to have built-in ceiling speakers around in the living room area only? I think built-in speakers are always better than the guys that stick out on the wall, if you can, because they're hidden. You don't see them as much. But I work in many residences, my own included, where we're not integrated into the wall. Oh, maybe we are integrated into the wall now. I don't think we used to be at our home. You see, I don't even know. That's how personally unimportant TV viewing is to me. I'm sorry to say. I shouldn't say that. As a designer, I love it, but in my own home, it doesn't really, it's not a big thing for me. I do it more for Steve. So Jennifer is, so Cheryl, I hope I answered you. Either one is fine. There you go. Though, Jennifer and everybody listening, make sure that you are thinking ahead on where your window treatments are going to stack. That means how far past the window they are. We hit this all the time. We're trying to put in a drapery rod and the speaker is like right in the way, or it's right up the edge of the rod. Try to keep those speakers away from the windows as far as possible, so you're not drawing more attention to where they are based upon your window covering. So that's one little hard-learned lesson that I had. So Reese, Jennifer's saying, Reese loved the info about the media room. Oh, my little Reese. All right. Hi, Reese. I'm glad you like that. That's good. Reese is Jennifer's son, who sometimes joins Jennifer, I think, for these Facebook Lives. I love it. We do have a Divo here. We have our Divas, and we kind of made up the name Divo. I don't know if we made it up or that exists. Marvel is saying, great topic today. Thank you. You are welcome. Jill is saying she's here from Park City, Utah. Never been to Utah. Would like to get out there. Looks gorgeous out there. So save me a spot out there, Jill. Then Linda is here telling me Lockport is between Buffalo and Rochester. Ah, you're an upstate girl. I went to school in upstate New York. I froze as soon as September came around. I was wearing too much clothing. Hi from Dayton, Ohio. I'm getting hellos. Jane is laughing at something. Hopefully I have something good. Jane is saying that we got our flat screen from pawn shops. They already had surround sound. Wow, you kind of did well on that one. And great advice. Nancy's loving the advice. Okay, I'm getting more hellos. Last question here. Melissa is saying, do you have experience with the TV screens that look like artwork? Oh, I think I answered that already. Yep, we already talked about that. I don't personally have. What did the Stewarts do? They did a mirror, right? They did a mirror. They did a mirror. Yeah, I personally prefer the mirror over the artwork thing, but that's just me. It's your home. You do what you want to do. And I think that, okay, Marvel is saying apply the shoebox design and now you can enjoy the TV together. Whether one is in the integrated family room or in the kitchen, win-win and not missing a bit. Great for busy days and togetherness. That's good, Marvel. I'm glad. That's really good. And then Maria is saying, I would never understand why people would pay hundreds of dollars for a TV, they then pay hundreds more to hide it. That's a good point. Listen, I know that when I was taking a CPE class as a designer in electronics and TVs and whatever for this whole topic, you know, the guy that was teaching it, who obviously loves audio visual because he's an AV guy, he was talking about the sleek cosmetics, on the electronics. And I thought, this is how the male brain works. I love you guys, but Women think about cosmetics, you know, it's mascara, it's lip gloss, it's something else, but so there are people who find tricked out media really great looking. I mean, these are audiophiles. I mean, they love this stuff. They want screens that lower from the ceiling, that are buried in the ceiling. They want the biggest screen possible, and there it is. So that's a good point. Why cover it if you spent all that money for it? Rita is saying, what is the name of the private Facebook group? Rita, you can only be admitted entry to any one of our private Facebook groups if you've taken the course that it's attached to. We turn down probably about 40 people a day from our private groups. People want into these groups, but they're not open to just anybody. You have to have gone through the course, or be in the course, so everybody's talking the same language. So Rita, if you're one of our students and you haven't already through the website gotten into the attached Facebook group, just contact Kate or Steve in customer service at the Interior Design Advocate, and they will certainly, give you admittance right away into the Facebook group, provided that you are a student, of that course. So, all right. So last question. Do you have any suggestions from Jill for nice looking, updated, unique TV stands? I do not. You know what? I don't know what your budget is, Jill, but I mean, West Elm, low cost, doing some cool looking things, as media cabinets. I would look on Wayfair if you're talking super low cost, see what's out there. I don't know your design style, but I think there's a lot out there that can work for you. All right, my lovelies. It looks to me like we have, Linda just posted some sources for framing her TV and for media art. Thank you, Linda. I'm telling you, are my divas the best? You guys are the best. So again, no Facebook Live next week. If you're on our mailing list already, you'll get a notice about that. If you're not on our mailing list, girl, you're missing the party. So you may want to contact customer service at the Interior Design Advocate so you can get on our mailing list, get updates on when we're having our lives, as well as replay links to them as well. And by the way, if you missed any portion of any one of our Facebook Lives, including today's, you can always find us on YouTube. That's the Interior Design Advocate on YouTube. We also do other really cool video there as well, not just our amazing Facebook Lives. And if you're not following us on Instagram, girls, you're missing that party too. And that would be at decorating.genius. That's at decorating.genius to follow our online education brand, design brand for our online courses. That's at decorating.genius. And some of you have been joining me at the design studio. Our design studio is at IDH Designs. That's at IDH Designs, which is, what we do. I run a luxury interior design company, and we're working on all kinds of different projects, from renovations to design builds to purely decorative design. A lot going on, and sometimes I sneak you into the design studio and show you what's going on. And I'm going to do more of that on the design side of the brand. I decided that. Did I tell you that, Katie?
No.
Okay, no. But you know now. Katie knows, along with you guys. You're all in the know. All right, so have a healthy, safe few days off, my lovelies. I will see you in 2 weeks on June 14th for how to pick out something about artwork. Five tips to pick out the perfect artwork for your rooms. And another little surprise coming at you that week as well. All right, lovelies, great seeing you. You look great. Great questions, and I'm so happy to be of service to you. All right, big hug. Talk to you guys soon. See you soon, too. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.